Hello and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2. In this episode, we're going to take a look at some of our cargo hub lines that we have here, and we're going to start to fine-tune and balance some of these, as some of our lines have many needs, such as the construction materials line having a ton of construction materials waiting, and maybe even some stuff here, balancing out that, and then just checking in and making sure that we're getting enough resources to each place. So I believe we will be getting enough food sent out, as this train usually doesn't leave full, and over here, maybe upgrading our trains to get a few more cargo or construction materials shipped out through there. Now, I don't think we're going to connect anything extra up to this cargo hub in this video. I think we're just going to do some balancing and then looking around to see if there's some other small things we can do around the map. So, as we mentioned in the beginning here, we need to upgrade this train just a little bit to carry slightly more construction materials than it is right now. Alright, so here's our train. We're going to be using a brand new unlocked GE C40-8W engine. This one can reach the top speed for all of these cargo wagons, so we're getting max efficiency out of this train, and it should carry considerably more now. So let's see if we can find it, and when it gets to the station we should be able to see how many construction materials it can take in one trip. Alright, so here it is pulling into the station, and in a moment here, hopefully it'll be able to carry a pretty decent amount so we're not overfilling this station anymore. So it does look like it'll be taking 168 per trip, which is just a little bit more than it was before. I believe the train before was only carrying 120, so hopefully that'll be much better than how we were running before. But while we're up here, we should come in and just add some storage, since we do have a build-up. Hopefully now we can hold even more here. So now looking at our truck station here, we have over 100 construction materials waiting at this station. So if we can find where these trucks are, so here's one, we can manage this vehicle. We have 10 on the line, which is a good number, but we might have to still add more. But let's check some of our other trucks first and see if maybe we can get better ones than the one that we're currently running. Alright, so I think this 40-ton truck with side stakes is probably our best truck for construction materials. It goes much quicker than the ones previously, whereas those would go 50 miles an hour. These can hit up to 62, and they can carry 5 more per load than what we were running before. Now we're not going to add too many more vehicles to this line since we did just upgrade it, but we will add 2 more just to keep up with the demand. Now I wanted to look at some of the factories that are sending stuff to the cargo hub, and here I noticed that a lot of our fuel isn't getting shipped out quick enough. And it looks like the route to the cargo hub is still pretty unobstructed. We are getting a little bit of traffic here now. We might need to provide a different road for private traffic to take, but even this doesn't seem to be holding us up too much. So I think we simply might just need more trucks on this line, or at least better trucks. So let's come in here and replace these, and I think for these actually we'll go with these tanker trucks, because as we can see we can carry 5 more with this compared to these 40-ton trucks. And we are sacrificing just a little bit of speed, but I don't think it's on many roads that can go faster than this 56 miles an hour. So I'll value more capacity over speed, at least for this moment. We'll see. Maybe we need to change it up later, but for now I think we're good. Now, one thing I just noticed here in Garden Grove is this station here is completely filled. So we're losing food and we're losing fuel here because there's no more cargo capacity for it in here. So adding these cargo buildings will give us a little bit of space, but we really should look at more of the root causes of this issue and maybe try to fix it there. Now, I don't really see any of our trucks stuck in traffic, so I don't think that's the issue. Perhaps it could just be that we need more trucks on these lines. Garden Grove was very small when we first started, so I think maybe we just need more trucks. So we'll replace these. We'll add one more, which should increase the amount that we're able to move considerably. And then the same for the food line. If we come in here and replace with these box trucks, and then again clone it so we now have 4. So we'll need to keep an eye on this and make sure we're keeping these numbers down, because it's very important that we get this sent into the city. And one thing I just noticed is that we're starting to get some skyscrapers pop up in our cities. So hopefully a lot of these cities will stop growing outwards and maybe they'll start growing upwards, since we're in the 1990s. Alright, so one pretty annoying thing I've noticed is this interchange is still very backed up, and it even comes all the way back into the city of Santa Clara, which isn't that great. So what we need to sort out is how these cars are getting into the city, because they all want to turn right, and because of this short intersection they're all getting stuck, and there's just not an easy way to distribute them throughout the city here. So I think at least this intersection here, we're going to delete these 2 roads, and we're going to turn this into a 5-way intersection. So now these roads should have a few more options. Sometimes you can sort of see where the lanes will allow the cars to go if you look at the tire tracks on the road. So I think this lane can take this road here and this road here, and then the right lane can take this road and this road. So that should help us distribute traffic a little bit better through here. But of course we don't want to rely on this one single intersection to get people into the city. So I think these sort of side streets we're gonna need to upgrade, because I think that'll help the traffic AI in sort of determining which route is best. With upgraded roads, it should be slightly faster. So maybe we'll begin to see more cars turning off earlier and taking these side streets into the city. Another way we can help sort of alleviate some of the traffic, at least coming from this side, is there is potential to create an intersection here and bring it into Cedar Rapids over here. And that might be a reasonable connection. It does kind of stink because I do like forcing people to use the highway, but if they're all just gonna get bottlenecked into one intersection where it meets the city, we should definitely consider having multiple ways in from the same side. So let's sort of work our way out of here. And thankfully this brings us out into a nice valley where we can start to just work our way up and then figure out how we're going to connect to this road over here. It should be pretty straightforward, but I can't see immediately how rough the terrain is. So I think we can come to here and then just easily, sort of one segment at a time, trying to avoid creating bridges or tunnels, but I think having that one tunnel there is just fine. So now we have hopefully a quicker connection for people in Garden Grove to come around through here and then bring this road into the city of Cedar Rapids. And immediately after building that road, we can see on our destinations layer people beginning to use this road. Even if it is just to get out of the city at the moment, having multiple options isn't always a bad thing. And now, speaking of this road here, we're going to want to think about how it comes into the city, because we don't want to overload this road, as it's sort of the main way to get in and out of the city on this side. So, I believe this road right here is sort of acting as our main street through the city. And I think what we should be able to do is come through and upgrade this road all the way through, just to help accommodate some of our increased traffic throughout the city. So now we have this intersection here where the two main entry roads meet, and I think we'll leave it at this for now. Now, speaking of our traffic issues, unfortunately this road here just hasn't really cleared up much at all. So I think what we're gonna have to do is bring another bridge off somewhere to allow for all of these cars to get across the river. And I don't really want to put it on this highway because I don't want to keep adding stops, since this is sort of a highway. I want to see if maybe we could get a bridge coming off of one of these roads here. But of course I want a pretty straight shot to the main road so that we can have a 4-lane road coming across here and connecting maybe somewhere here. So in order to do that, we're going to pause so we don't mess up any of our bus loops or anything like that. And we'll begin by upgrading that road and then bringing it across. And we might even just start bringing it up here. So we can bring it up a little bit, start it, and then from here we can clean up our intersections. That was a pretty costly road to delete, but I think we'll just add in that road back in so it connects to this road again. And we'll leave this one unconnected just because we don't want it really connecting up to the bridge. So now we should be able to grab this and take it straight across the river. And maybe if we can get it to snap straight, just like this. And try to get it pretty flat. And it looks like we get just enough clearance to allow boats underneath. We can maybe start it a little farther back. So maybe somewhere around here. And then we can try to get it to connect up to this intersection right about here. So hopefully this works. Hopefully this gets used a lot. We might need to upgrade this road here, but we'll see what kind of traffic we get flowing in from Bridgeport. Alright, and looking over here at Clearwater and Alexandria, traffic here is still a complete mess. We have this highway here completely backed up. This road here is getting better, actually. It used to be a lot more backed up than it was before. And this road connecting Clearwater and Alexandria is still just completely full. And all traffic in Alexandria is basically stopped. So I've gone through and added some random connections that seem like would naturally happen anyway. So we have a lot of connections crossing this railroad here, so people aren't forced to only take this road. If they, say, want to get into the north part of Clearwater, they can take one of these smaller roads off earlier. Since they're stopping at an intersection anyway, we might as well give them the option to get off and get to their destination sooner. And then down here we've added a few more roads, just again more connectivity so that everything here is more sort of intertwined with itself and allowing for more straightforward options for people to go to. And this road just automatically connected to our highway. That's something we don't want. Wish there was a way to keep city growth away from highways, but I guess it is what it is, and we just have to continue sort of pruning the city back to discourage it from connecting to our highways. Some people even build on these highways, which doesn't really make sense, but I guess that's how the game handles it, so some of this we're just gonna have to leave. But so we'll keep looking around here, see if there's things we can fix. If we find weird intersections throughout the city, we'll fix them. Like this here could be straightened out and turned into much simpler logistics, so we don't have tons of intersections on one road when they can just be combined. And that might be what's happening over here in Clearwater, although I think there's just a lot of people wanting to go sort of everywhere in this city, which is what's mainly causing our problems. Although there still is some roads that could be straightened out and upgraded to help better facilitate movement. And I think just sort of keeping an eye on where all this traffic is trying to go and make it as easy as possible to get there is probably our best bet. So here's another sort of pretty short intersection we have. We can delete that, connects it to the intersection that it was right next to, and then we can upgrade this road so that traffic can move a little bit faster going up and down there. We'll do the same here and any of the other sort of major side streets we just so happen to come across. And here at this intersection, I think we're gonna, well, we can't. I was gonna say we could turn this into a 2-lane road to force people to use more lanes, but then they'll just bottleneck the other side coming in here. And it wouldn't really be easy to do that idea without separating the two roads. So we'll leave that sort of how it is. A lot of our traffic coming from this way, I'm still not sure where it's going. I think it is going straight across to Alexandria, but I'm still confused as to some of this traffic and where it's really trying to go. One thing that I noticed that seems to potentially be a positive is this stretch of road is no longer completely filled with cars. So hopefully that means our traffic is getting better. I can't say that for sure. Maybe it was just a traffic light holding everyone up or something along those lines. But still, sort of in the heart of the city here, very filled with traffic. And again, we'll just keep trying to give these roads some space. We're not really gonna add many intersections. I think one thing we might try to do is connect this road here with this road here. So it's going to be a little messy. Unfortunately, we'll be getting rid of some of the only skyscrapers we have in Clearwater, which they do look pretty cool. But in order to connect these, we'll need to delete these roads here. And I think now we should just be good to put a straight line in and connect it like that. So we'll need to re-add our intermediate connections along this road. Although it says there's too much slope, so we might have to do something more like that. And we'll kind of end up forcing the road doing what it was before, but still a pretty steep slope. It's not really our problem though, so there we go. And hopefully a lot of the traffic coming here and the traffic coming here can now just go straight through instead of turning right and then turning left. So maybe that's where some of our issues were coming from. Because looking here, a lot of these cars are just going straight. So maybe that'll help solve our issues. Maybe it'll make it a little worse. We won't really know until maybe a few more videos in. And I think the last thing we're going to do is extend this sort of river road that we got going on and connect it up to this highway here. I think this road here might act as more of like a passive road to get around Alexandria for those that are going straight to Clearwater, or if for some reason they're taking this road to get into Corpus Christi, they can follow the river instead of taking the main road through Alexandria. So we'll just naturally follow the river, and then at some point, hopefully we can get this to work. We can just add an intersection and maybe we'll see it get used. Hopefully we will, because this traffic's pretty bad. And who knows, that might even cut some of the traffic that takes this roundabout to go onto the bridge. And looking at what we've done previously in this episode, this bridge has definitely gained a lot of demand, it seems, for people coming out of Clearwater, sort of coming across here into Bridgeport, and people coming from Alexandria seem to like this road as well. And it seems a lot of them are also turning left to take the bridge. Now, if we come back to this intersection between Cedar Rapids and Santa Clara, we can see that this part of the highway is completely cleared. However, this side is still remaining pretty packed. And I'm not too sure where they're getting hung up. I think it might just be the sort of sheer amount of volume coming through Santa Clara to get to Cedar Rapids. I'm not too sure what else we can do here, really, as there's not really any other connections we can make to get into Cedar Rapids. The cities aren't really close enough where we could start connecting separate roads, and that would sort of defeat the purpose of this highway. So we might just need to come up with more efficient ways for this road to connect. Maybe somehow there's a way to get more people using the other lane so that not everyone's just using the one lane, the left lane of this road. And then lastly, just coming all the way back to our cargo hub over here, it seems we have a lot more fuel coming in, and that's something we might need to sort out in the next video. So, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or feedback, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching and have a great day.